Kyle. Kyle, can you hear me? Will you bring me a water, please? Thank you, Kyle.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started with Coach Traylor. JJ.
Jeff, you guys come away with the big win this week. Are you guys playing the best football of the season?
Yeah, I would say we are. First of all, let's just talk about JJ's choice of clothes this morning. I mean, we see he has made it known to me, people and fans of JJ Perez, that he'd rather the Cowboys win a Super Bowl than us win a Rose Bowl. He's on record of saying that. So I want to put that out there. He's so happy today because his Cowboys looked so great. Anyway, love my man JJ. Yeah, I think we're playing our best ball of the season at the right time of season. And I'm really happy for our kids. We're really thin. We're really thin, but the ones we've got standing are playing really good.
Jeff, what did it mean to have the program return to the top 25 for the first time this year and getting a spot in the Coaches Bowl?
Yeah, I'm going to surprise y'all because I know I'm a big don't eat the cheese guy, right? And don't really like to talk about that stuff, but I think our kids can handle that now. I think we're used to it, and I think we expect it. And I think it's something that we can use to motivate a little bit. I know it's great for recruiting. It's great for boosters. It's great for national publicity. And we've been hunted, and the target has been on our back for a long time now. So I don't think we're sneaking up on anybody anymore. I think everybody's tired of the road runners. So I'm all about it, man. I'm excited.
What does it do for the program just to have that level of national attention and to just be in the consciousness to get considered for something like that?
Yeah, I agree, Greg. I think it's good for all of us. I mean, we've got a long ways to go here still. We're a new program. Fundraising is going to be huge for us in the next decade, especially going to the AAC, facilities, infrastructure. Those type of things are going to be huge for us to take the next step. And I've had tons of boosters hit me up about how excited they are. And the first thing I write back, if we want to stay here, man, we got to keep giving and maybe give more.
How much are the players this week motivated by the chance to finish an undefeated season in the league? Is that something you guys talk about?
In our team meeting yesterday, we just basically celebrated the victory, the old 24-hour rule. And today and tomorrow, we'll start getting into that kind of stuff. But you got to look at where we were last year at this exact moment. I'm a big journal guy. I know y'all get tired of hearing that, but I go back and always read what I wrote last year. And we just won a trophy this week. We had won 11 in a row. Now we won 8 in a row. We were playing North Texas, who was trying to get to a bowl game this week. We are now playing UTEP, who's trying to get to a bowl game this week. We were a double-digit favorite. We're a double-digit favorite. So that's the message. History, that's why we have history books. We learn. We don't want to repeat those same mistakes again. It's senior day. It's a big day for my kids. I want to send Maka, Dadrian, Trevor Harmison. There's a lot of kids here. Corey Mayfield. And I can go on and on about my 21 seniors that we're honoring this weekend. And some of those guys, have to leave, but some of them have the option to come back. And whether they come back or leave, I want this to be a special day for them.
UTEP's coming off one of their best results of the season with a pretty one-sided win at FIU. Did anything jump out about that game that was different from them?
Just how they manhandled them. I mean, it was they just handled them, and that I'm not saying anything against UTEP. I just thought FIU would play better. So is that UTEP that much better? I don't know. I just don't see FIU folding the tent. So I'm assuming UTEP just played really, really well. They came off a bye week, and they looked like they had fixed some stuff they had problems with. And he's a veteran coach. He's been coaching a long time, and he's done a really good job out there.
Do you have to be on guard at all against the guys looking ahead to the championship game next week, or how do you manage that part of it?
I think you have to, but I also think we're a pretty mature football team. I'm on record as saying I don't know that we're as talented or as deep as we were last year, but I think between our ears, because of all the success last year and just what we had to go through and the beginning of this year, all the adversity and all the injuries, This is a really mentally tough football team. It would surprise me if we did not go out there Saturday. And I'm not saying win. I mean, represent the brand, represent the triangle. That would really surprise me if we didn't do that.
Back to you, JJ.
Jeff, what went into the decision to get the Conference USA regular season trophy? Why did you guys do that?
Oh, I was given the option, and they could have mailed it to us. And that's where I was early in the week and told Kevin, I'm like, yeah, just mail it to us, just a grumpy old man. And then I'm like, these kids have worked their tails off for this. They deserve to be celebrated. And so I changed my mind, and it's a big deal. And I know we're not done. We've got more work to do, but it's still a big deal.
What did it mean to see your players celebrate like that? I mean, they've had a rough season with all the injuries, and it was a pretty big moment for them, it seemed like.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, just to show you how neat of kids we have. I mean, they all pretty much know I'm never going to tell Frank no, and I'm never going to tell Maka no. So they want anything done, they just get Frank or Maka to ask me. And I mean, literally, after I got through escaping the water bath fiasco, Maka came up and was like, Coach, man, we want to go to Buc-ee's. Well, I thought he was just teasing. And I'm like, man, we can always go to Buc-ee's. And he's like, no, Coach, we really want to go to Buc-ee's. And I'm like, then we're going to go to Buc-ee's. And Maka wants to go to Buc-ee's. And of course, every adult was like, this is going to take another hour. We're not. I'm like, I don't care about you grumpy old adults, man. This is about the kids, their memories. There's going to be a day they're going to look back, and they're not going to call me and talk about the games. There's going to be a day Maka's going to call me and Vinley, and they're going to go, Coach, you remember that time I went to Buc-ee's? And that's why you do this. And I've been doing this for 33 years, and I still get calls from former players, and not one time have they ever talked about a win. It's always about a memory. It's always about a moment. It's always about something they learned. And, I don't want to ever be a guy that takes away these kids' enjoyment of the game because I'm so focused on winning the next one.
Hector, we'll go to you.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning, Hector.
Hey, so no one walks out of Buc-ee's empty-handed. What did you walk out with?
Chocolate covered almonds. I was not. Care Bear always gets the grossest snacks. Like there's stuff that I would never eat, but she always eats my snacks and I won't touch hers. And like she rode home on the bus with me and she ate most of my chocolate covered almonds, but I crushed the rest of them.
My one of my actual questions is kind of close to what JJ just asked, in terms he asked about, how the players felt, right afterwards. Given the injuries, given the expectations, what you did last year, and the whole nine, and now the ranking as well. Just wondering if this is kind of, I know you've still got the regular season finale, then the conference title game, and then the bowl game. I know, but like, is this a moment for just, even if it's for a minute, a moment of reflection of what the program has done the last couple of years?
There's no doubt. I've kind of been in that mindset since JT went down. I've literally just been like, what else can this team even handle? And they still found a way to beat UAB. They beat Louisiana Tech. They've beaten Rice. And I talk to my kids all the time about this, Hector. Like life's like, if you'll look at life, like there's two railroad tracks going on all the time. And on the right side, there's always something good going on. On the left side, there's always something bad going on. And sometimes in life, the right side, we might have more good going on than bad. Sometimes we might have more bad going on than good. But our kids have done a fantastic job this year of handling all the good we've got going on. But we've had a lot of bad go on this year as far as season-ending injuries. And my dream would be that Mekhi Hart, Rashad Wisdom, JT, Brandon Matterson, Meach, all those guys could host that trophy up, man. That would be a special picture for me to keep in my office, just as kind of just a symbol of what the rest of these kids have done. Because whenever you lose those great players like that, everybody's got to do a little bit more. And we've all just done a little bit more to try to make those guys, I know they're frustrated, but they're all getting to come back next year. And that's a blessing. And I think this time next year, we're going to look back at this and go, wow, look what all these kids have learned from the adversity they've gone through.
I don't think this is a culture pillar violation, and that's a heck of a qualifier, right? But to get to this point, to get back to that, is it already, given everything that we've laid out, is it already more impressive than what you guys did last year? As silly as that might sound offhand.
Between the years, I would totally agree. As far as mental toughness, overcoming adversity, but I would also say that group last year. Let's go back to the first group. Just to go through COVID and be predicted to win no games and have nobody on the preseason all-conference team. Well, that set a foundation for the program, right? Well, then the next year you've got 21 starters back out of 22. They put us on the national scene. A very prosperous team, 11 in a row, as high as 15th in the country. And then you go to this year, which set us up for this. Our kids can handle this now. It's like Greg's original question about being ranked in the top 25. I would have told you I wouldn't touch that subject with a 10-foot pole last year. But now this year, we're ready to handle all that. Our kids are used to it. They're good in front of the media. Now, we're not perfect in front of the media, but we're good in front of the media. We know what to say and what not to say because we're just used to this.
And then the final one for me for now, Coach, given the dynamic in that you still got the regular season finale, right? But it's the title game's already clinched. And given that it's down to 2 as to who you'll play, is there any amount of preparation, considering you've already played both potential guys who might make it on the other side or make it to play you? How much, if you don't mind me asking, how much preparation starts going into that, given that it's one of 2 people that you might play in the title game after this week?
0 as of this day, just because we owe it to our kids to finish correctly. There's some benefit there. I've already played both teams. We've played Western Kentucky 3 times in the last 2 years. We've played North Texas twice in the last 2 years, already once this season with both those current teams. So we're very familiar. I'm sure they've got injuries too. We might, start peaking at that kind of stuff as the week goes on. But right now we're all about UTEP. We just owe it to these kids to finish correctly. It would be terrible for all these kids. Marcus Trans flying in from Hawaii. To get a jersey presented to him and get a picture taken. It would not be good for those kids to lose this last game. And I'm going to give it all I got to make sure I send them out with a great memory. And then we'll get on to Western Kentucky or North Texas as soon as that game's over with. Because we're a day behind. As soon as that game's over, it's already Monday, the very next Sunday.
Thank you, Coach.
Greg?
Jeff, after a couple weeks of being able to get some guys out early in the 3rd or 4th quarter, are you guys any better off in terms of the minor bumps and bruises as you would otherwise be, or how's the overall health right now?
I think we came out pretty much unscathed. We got ankle twists and we got bruises, but no surgeries. We came out really good. I had to go out there just twice on the field for players, and both of them got up and walked off the field on their own.
I saw T. Haynes and Venley both played at least a few more snaps compared to the week before. How do you guys manage that going forward? Is it a platoon the rest of the way, or do they have a chance to win their jobs back? What's going on there?
They're getting there mentally and physically. They're not far away right now. So, yeah, we're just going to compete, man. We're going to compete, and best 5 will play to start the game, and number 6, 7, and 8 will rotate in as the game progresses, just for keep them fresh and make sure we've got some big boys up there who want to play in the 4th quarter.
JJ?
Jeff, I wanted to ask you about Frank. He had a big game on the ground rushing the ball. What did it? Was that part of the game plan, or just something he saw what the defense was giving them, or how can you explain that big production?
Well, the first one was a sprint out. So it's obviously 1, 2, and number 3 is always Frank run, right? So just by the way the play is blocked, there's a natural crease back there on that backside. They all had angles on him to tackle him. That is called a great mother and father giving him some unbelievable genetics and him just erasing that corner. So, schematically, it's 1, 2, and 3 is Frank get gone. And he took number 3, and then his athletic ability took over. The second one was a power read where we're reading the defensive end, and obviously the defensive end squeezes. We hand it, which we had that blocked up well. If the defensive end is wide, then he hugs the gapping unit, which he did a great job of. And again, he made number 20 miss at the goal line. That's genetics. That's called, having a good player. The third one, we had a really good play called, and Rice did a good job of matching it. And he just recognized it. And I'd like to give you some kind of, it's a quarterback draw, but I'd be lying. That was all Frank Harris, just being Frank Harris. So there you go. There's the three of them.
He seemed to be, I guess, for lack of better words, reluctant to run as much as we've seen him in the past. But this was kind of like a throwback game from him. Is that something you guys talk about, or him just staying more patient in the pocket?
No, it's something we've talked about. We got to keep him healthy. So the more shots we can take off of him, the better. We always want to keep him healthy. Don't get me wrong, but there's certain times the risk and reward are warranted. So it's just one of those games, man. He knew we weren't going to be able to throw it as much as we wanted to because of the weather, and it was going to come down to his feet a lot. And he was really ready to go, man. He was ready to go. Him and Dadrian Taylor did a fantastic job. Dadrian leading the defense and Frank leading the offense.
We'll go to you, Adrian.
Morning, Coach. Earlier, you were talking about not letting history repeat itself, right? And this year, we were most certainly ready for the conditions, embracing the elements. Can you talk a little bit about the prep that goes into that? Or is that more of an in-between the ears thing, like you were talking about through this conversation?
I totally changed just my way of viewing that. And we attacked it from a different angle. We just tried to make, here's what we did. We just basically said, we're going to try to make this as comfortable as possible on the sideline. So you are more motivated to score quickly or turn them over or get them off the field quickly so you can get back under the tent with your hot chocolate, your heaters. And I want everybody covered up and warm. And that's the angle we went. Did it have anything to do with the win? I know this. We attacked pregame. We attacked it all, man. I mean, I didn't tell Dadrian Taylor to take his shirt off. That was all him. I did want them in their shorts and their shirt. Just I didn't want to get all their clothes soaking wet. Keeping their socks dry. I mean, I talked to them about, the bags on the feet. We just did anything we could to try to stay dry. And we all had, like, anybody that was wiping their nose or being soft, we were just going to come up and punch them. That was our rule. And that was a joke. Now, we really weren't going to punch anybody. I know I'll get in trouble for that, but it was a mindset, like you said, of just attacking that thing. And our kids were it's always the kids, though. I can say whatever I want to say. If Frank Harris and Maka and Dadrian Taylor and those guys don't follow my lead, none of this matters. And all those kids, Sakari Franklin, those kids were just really into the game.
Greg.
Jeff, one of the things we didn't talk about Saturday was the rushing defense, holding Rice to 5 yards on the ground, I believe. What was it that led to the success in that area for you guys?
Our D-line is really good. They're active. Our linebackers had their best game of the year. Tons of triangle toughness winners up front. There's about 30 of our kids from Houston on our roster. So going back to Houston was a big deal for these kids. A lot of those kids are on defense from Houston. So, if I started naming them, I'd mess it all up. So I'd be careful. But for sure, Brandon Brown, for sure, Booker Brown, for sure, Cyrus, Trevor Harmonson, Avery. Those are all Houston kids just right off the top of my head. And I haven't even thought through that very much. Not Clifford Chapman, but Tripp is from Houston as well. He had his best game. So I think that mattered. Those kids wanted to play well going back to Houston. And we were just very physical up front. Linebackers, D-line.
Really, when you look at the run defense through the season, since the start of conference play, you guys have been really strong. It's not really just a 1 week thing. Is there something that's different compared to earlier in the year that you guys are doing to have some success against the run?
I don't even know if it's just conference. I don't remember anybody really running the ball very well. And that's always a dangerous thing to say to you and JJ, because y'all know everything, right? I'm fixing to get busted on that. But I don't remember anybody running the ball on us. Maybe, Houston's quarterback on some scrambles. Oh, well, that's not true. Bijan and Roshan, they're pretty good. They were pretty good. So thanks, JJ. You don't have to give me the hook 'em sign in the background there. But yeah, that was a good one. They got us an unbalanced couple of times. But other than that, I think our guys have been quarterback scramble versus Texas Southern. Yeah, blah blah blah. I'm sure y'all are ready to bust me on that. Yeah, we've been good against the run. To answer your question, I've been chastising the defense for giving up 5 yards. Why couldn't we have just held them to 0? That'd have been cool. But yeah, 5 is pretty remarkable.
JJ.
Jeff, I saw Taylor Amy traveled with you guys. What did that mean to have him there? And he was on the sidelines during the game.
That's amazing. I mean, he has a gift with kids. When he's around my own children, he's that way. You can just tell that's a gift of his. And he was a blast all the way down there. And heck, he rode home with us too. And he's on the sidelines with us. He was in Buc-ee's with us, man. And Sosa, just by pure coincidence, Sosa was at Buc-ee's the same time we were. So it was a big time, man. President there, our players, Sosa. It was a really fun trip. And I put a picture, of Vinley just smiling on there on my Twitter. And his exact quote was, "This is his first time to ever be at Buc-ee's." He's like, "Coach, this is even better than Walmart." I'm like, "Vinley, you are my kind of guy, man."
Greg.
Jeff, you talked earlier about the decision around the trophy. Was it different this year just because there's no divisions, or did that conversation play out differently compared to last year about how to celebrate the regular season award part of it?
I would imagine it was different in the Conference USA's. I've not spoken to them about their decision whether to mail it or let us present it. At UAB, there's a I guess they knew that it's a championship game that day. I don't know what all went into that. You would have to ask Miss Judy and Trey what their decision was behind that.
Do you have a trophy from winning the West last year, like the regular season part of it?
Yeah, same exact trophy. Nothing's different. I mean, it's just you're not playing either other side. You've already won the regulars, just like last year. So I guess last year, were we the Western champions? Is that what it was? I don't even know what was called last year. Or this year it's called regular season versus Western. But other than that, it's the exact same trophy.
Anything else for Coach Traylor this morning? All right. Thanks, everyone.
It's Thanksgiving week. We got a lot to be thankful for, man. Attitude of gratitude now. God bless. Birds up.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank y'all.